Today on We Love It Outdoors.
November 1st, and we're catching fish like this. Yeah. That's a nicer fish.
Almost looks good enough to eat. This guy's a fishing machine right here. I'm Dan Eigen, full-time guide and avid outdoorsman. These days, it's easy to get stuck inside in a virtual world. But the real world is outside. So I challenge you to put your instincts to work, making real memories with real people. Because we love it outdoors. Fall in the North Country, a time when most outdoorsmen leave the lakes and rivers behind and head for the woods in search of big game. But most diehard anglers among us know some of the best big game hunting opportunities this time of year aren't in the woods, but on the water, where schools of big fish go on a feeding binge in preparation for the coming cold water months.
Morning, Brewster.
Morning, Dan. Who's guiding who today?
I'm thinking that it's my turn to guide you.
All right.
After an awesome season, it's my little treat.
All right.
Okay.
You want me to back the boat in?
I'll back you in. How
All
about
right.
you hop up in
Sure.
there and we'll go get them.
All right.
Beautiful morning.
Yeah, it is great.
Catch more fish, just like it says on your back. That's what we're gonna go do.
As a full-time fishing guide, it's rare to spend a day on the water fishing for the pure enjoyment of it. But that's another perk of the late fall season. And today, fellow guide Bruce Mintz and I are in pursuit of our state fish, the walleye.
Some ducks, little divers. Oh, is it beautiful? A couple loons on the water, ducks flying overhead.
As full-time fishing guides, Bruce and I spend all summer long working to get clients on the fish, and then try to get those fish in the boat. When it comes to dealing with less experienced anglers, the best plan is to keep things simple. So we often rely on two tried and true walleye catching techniques that also happen to be very simple for anyone to use: the jig and the rig. As fall closes in on winter and water temps start to drop, bait fish start to gather along these steep breaks. Walleyes in search of an easy meal will roam these break lines, often holding in very deep water, periodically moving up to feed.
Now I know what a lab feels like when it's ready to go pheasant hunting. That's how I feel right now. Just shaking, excited. Look at that. Yeah. That's a nice walleye. Atta buddy. Look at that. That didn't take long.
Oh, not what it
Right
did.
here. Give me knuckles.
Not what it did.
That is your favorite. Don't show people what jig you have there. Okay, you better show them, because that is Bruce's all-time favorite right there.
The blue parrot.
Look at that.
Like a quarter ounce.
That's a beautiful walleye.
You want them?
Yeah, I want them.
I'll show you how I rig this. Go through the lip down and then spin them around and come up through the whole body. And that puts that big mouth right up against the jig. Instead of acting like a crankbait and catching a bunch of water. You see it there? How the mouth is right up against the ball.
Bruce is using a quarter-ounce Northland Fireball jig, but there are a number of good jig options out there. And live bait isn't your only option either. I've had great success on a number of different plastics, including Berkley Gulp Alive. But as important as your bait is your ability to detect bites, which can be very difficult when you're vertical jigging in water as deep as 30, 40, or even 50 feet, which is common this time of year.
Late in the year like this, when you get out over the mud in the deeper water, I like dragging, literally dragging the jig on the bottom. Just pull it, just kind of pull it, stop, And a lot of times they'll just pick it up real soft and just sit with it. I just like to put a little bit of pressure on them to make them chew on the minnow. If you set the hook as soon as you feel the fish, a lot of times they only have half the minnow. So if you hold it and just put a very little pressure on them, they think it's getting away, and then they'll gobble up on it, and then you can set the hook. So it's better if you can just barely touch them and let them pull on it. You can feel them. You can actually feel them chewing it down there if you hold your rod real soft.
Our guide's day out is off to a fast start, at least for Bruce. But I'm about to prove there's more than one way to catch fall walleyes. On beautiful Gull Lake in north central Minnesota, fellow guide Bruce Meinz and I are on the hunt for hungry, late fall walleyes. We've started the day with a couple of traditional live bait presentations. Bruce has already scored with the jig, while I'm going with a big minnow on a live bait rig.
My theory on the whole jigging versus live bait rigging or Lindy rigging is that I think that you catch bigger fish in general on a Lindy rig versus a jig. A jig is a little more versatile, a lot more versatile, I should say. It seems that typically you're catching bigger fish on a minnow like that, Lindy rigging, versus jigging. Nervous minnow, and I think it hit it, yep. Fishing a red tail like this, it's really fun because you can just kind of hang out, and as soon as you feel that minnow just get nervous, more often than not, you're gonna get bit, which I just did. So I'm just letting line go. I got a red-tailed chub that's probably 4 inches long. And you know what, when a walleye hits that red tail, hits it and holds it until it feels like it's dead, then spins it around and swallows it head first. So you wanna give them a little bit of line. And I'm thinking that this one has probably got it. So I'll reel down. Line is kind of under the boat here a little bit. I'll reel down till my rod tip loads up like that. And then that's a nicer fish. Boy.
Might be more serious than you think.
Well, a little bit more serious, yeah. I love this. Fall fishing. Fall fishing when there's rarely ever anybody else out here. It's a beautiful walleye. There it comes. It's not as big as I thought, but it's a beauty. Yeah. Oh, give me that bugger. Thank you, Bruce.
Good job.
Look at that. That is a beautiful, beautiful walleye. Look at that. One, he's got the red tail sticking right out of his mouth. November 1st, and we're catching fish like this, and there isn't anybody out here. I mean, yes, I wouldn't mind being in the tree stand right now, but this time of year, most people are hunting, and there's not a lot of people on the water. A lot of people have stored their boats.
The components of a good live bait rig are pretty standard, but I do make some customizations for rigging in deep water. First, make sure that you match your hook size to your bait size. Big bait requires a bigger hook, and when rigging these large red tails or creek chubs, I prefer at least a number 2 live bait hook. In deep water, I keep the leader length around 4 feet and prefer a fluorocarbon leader for sensitivity and stealth. I like a walking style sinker from a 1/4 ounce to as much as a 1/2 ounce depending on the depth and the wind. And unlike most common rigging setups, I prefer a super line like Power Pro for my main line. Feeling a nervous minnow or detecting a light strike in 35 to 50 feet of water can be challenging, but a no-stretch super line makes feeling bites and getting good hook sets possible no matter how deep you are.
Hey Bruce, you think wind is as critical in the fall as it is any other time of year?
No. I think it's a deficit when it's too windy in the fall. Because you can't fish comfortable. You know, it seems like dealing with the wind in the summer isn't as bad because it's one of the few things you have to deal with. Here you got to deal with mittens and gloves and frozen fingers. A lot deeper water than you fish in the summer.
In the open water season, when the wind is howling, you know, for 3 days, you know that those fish are going to be up on you know, say the wind's out of the south for 3 days, they're gonna be up on this north shore. But this time of year, you don't have to be so concerned about that. And you can fish out of the wind and still do well because these fish are relating to that deep, deep water.
And the other advantage of targeting deep water fish in the late fall is you don't have to wait for specific low light windows of opportunity. Fall fish can and will bite consistently all day long. And we plan to test that theory today, so stay tuned.
Nice job, Bruce. Here, walleye, 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 bite. A lake like this, Gull Lake, central Minnesota, there are so many spots. I mean, there's hundreds of spots a person could be fishing, and you don't want to get locked in one particular area. I mean, yes, we've caught a couple beautiful fish right here, and it didn't take long to catch them, but they can move out, they can stop feeding, so you need to be able to make that move. Oh, look at that fish. Oh, huge one, Bruce.
Good, I'll get him.
Yep. Now that is a, watch that. Well, he's just mouthing it. Look at that. But it is a bite. Tighten her up. Come on, be there.
Left.
He did leave. I think he got the minnow too.
Probably.
I don't know how that could have happened. He didn't get the minnow, but look at that little gash mark right there, right on top of the head. Hard to say.
Didn't quite have him all the way.
Could have been a little bugger, but
I got one on here, I think.
Bruce has got one. Hold on. Okay, go ahead. Set the hook. Decent one, huh?
Yeah, he's all right. He's not like that other one, I think. So far.
Oh, now it's taking some drag, huh?
Yeah.
Is this the one I just missed?
I think it is.
Nice job, Brewster. I like fishing with you because you can catch. It's a nice eater. Beautiful walleye.
There we go.
Nice. Oh boy, those are just really, really nice fish.
Nice.
Look at that.
Thick. Nice and thick. Quota.
Nice. Just another beautiful 18-inch walleye. Look at that. Whew, that's dinner. Dinner time. Hammer time.
Modern electronics always play a key role in effective walleye fishing, and this deep water fall bite is no different. In fact, when you're trying to locate schools of fish as deep as 40 or 50 feet, a good quality sonar is the only way to do it. Since the fish tend to be bunched up in specific locations, I'll spend a lot of time idling along steep break lines looking for both bait fish and walleyes, and I won't drop until I find them.
Oh, there's fish right there on the bottom.
Yeah, ready.
Really tight to the bottom.
That's good. Good
Yeah.
first one.
There's another one, there's another one. There's fish right there. Okay, ready, Bruce?
Which way are you going to go?
Just drop,
Are you going to go that way?
probably. But just, the fish are right there.
And believe it or not, most of these locations are my favorite first ice hotspots, which makes sense as we're only a couple weeks away from ice up and the fish are already setting up on their winter patterns.
I got one here. There
Nice
we go.
job, Bruce. Is it a netter?
Oh, I don't know. I can't tell yet. So far away.
55 feet of water.
Yeah, it'll net, I think. I don't think it's big.
There's another one down there right now too. I'm gonna punch that spot in.
That little guy.
Pop him up. Oh, that'll eat.
Yeah. This is a typical eater-sized Gull Lake walleye. Probably 13 and a half, 14 inches. And he just pulled it out of 55 feet of water, out of the mud, dragging a jig. We have a lot of people that come just to fish this size fish because they want eating size fish. And we throw back a lot of the big ones. So this is basically what we're looking for most of the time.
Nice. An absolutely perfect eating fish. I mean, we've kept some fish here today, and that's what we're doing. We're out to catch some fish to eat, and we put back a 22.5 incher, I think it was, whatever. But I mean, that is ideal right there, and it's not hurting the fishery. The DNR stocks this lake heavily. It's a put and take, more or less. I mean, it doesn't see the natural reproduction that it did, you know, numbers of years ago. So I don't feel bad keeping a 14, 15, 16-inch fish. Those are the best tasting, and there are a lot of them in here.
The traditional live bait offerings are loading up the live well, but when we come back, it's time to push the presentation envelope and prove that sometimes non-traditional baits can pay off in a big way.
Get him? Got him.
Veteran guide Bruce Mintz and I, along with the We Love It Outdoors team, are on a mission to find and catch late fall walleyes on Minnesota's Gull Lake. We've consistently caught fish all day on a live bait rig and a jig and a minnow combo. Now we're going to switch things up a little bit, moving away from the subtlety of live bait to a much more aggressive approach. Horizontal jigging lures like the Rapala Jigging Wrap or the Northland Puppet Minnow have been popular ice fishing presentations for a number of years. What most anglers don't know is how effective they can be on the open water, especially when targeting aggressively feeding super deep fish.
These baits, what they're doing is it's a reactionary bite. I mean, it's just like a young of the year perch that's down there just kind of, you know, maybe feeding off the mud and just kind of darting around. And that's exactly what these baits are doing. They're taking that dive, you know, and they're heavy. They're really, really heavy baits, which is nice because there's no doubt when you're on bottom. And yeah, it's that flash and that dash, and those fish, they see that and they think it's a wounded fish or, you know, crippled perch. The spot that we're fishing right now is a really long point that sticks right out way into the lake here. And it's got deep water on all sides. It's just an awesome ambush spot for walleyes to be able to just, you know, come up and feed on top of this, you know, shallow point and then drop back down to deep water on all sides.
This break is nearly vertical, which is perfect for a horizontal jigging lure. We can make short casts up to the shallow water and snap jig the bait back down the slope, covering depths from less than 10 feet down to 50 feet in a single cast.
Got one, Dan?
Oh, nice. You got him?
Yep.
He's already up?
Nope. There he comes.
Oh, look at that.
You gotta measure that baby.
Look at that fish. Wow. That is awesome, huh?
Yeah.
Let's put that on the tape measure quick. 24.5. That is a beautiful fish.
Yes.
You can put one of your customers on it next year.
Yep, well, we'll put that one back.
Let's put her back,
Yeah.
yep. Boat control is really critical here too. And you know, this is something that I've done my whole life is back trolled. And you know, you've got the square stern right here, which, you know, is obviously slowing things down, but yet you've got the maneuverability here, and I've got either the option of the big motor or my Minn Kota Vantage here, which I could be using right now too. But you know, we're fishing deep water and I'm not too worried about spooking fish right now in 32 feet of water. So I'm just using the big motor. But yeah, back trolling is for a walleye fisherman, it's a control thing. And I've got all my electronics right here and my bait, you know, and my live well, everything is right here. I don't have to move. This is home right here. Here we go, come on. Nice fish right here, really big 24-incher.
Hit him. Got him.
Oh, nice. I'm gonna get on this side of you, Bruce, because that's a big one. Yep, this is a 28-incher here.
No.
Yeah, it is.
Nah.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. It is. No?
I'll be looking at it.
It's a nice walleye.
Decent one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You are the man. That's a beautiful fish. Look at that. Unbelievable. This has been an awesome day. Bruce, right here.
You did good. Good. Our last trip of the year, that's for sure.
This guy's a fishing machine right here, but coming out here and, you know, just the one thing that I'm taking from today is the fact that I guarantee you're a believer in fishing with those jigging wraps,
Oh, yeah.
open water.
Yeah.
And we caught fish, live bait rigging with the Lindy rigs, red-tailed chubs. We caught fish on a jig and a minnow, and the last few fish, including this beautiful walleye right here, were caught on jigging rapalas, open water.
Number 7.
Number 7 perch color jigging rapala. So let's get a measurement on that thing, put it back, and call it an awesome day. And the next time I think we'll be fishing together, we'll be on the ice.
Late season open water walleyes can produce the best bites of the year, but even veteran full-time fishing guides can learn something. Yes, the old favorites always seem to produce, but you should never be afraid to try something new because it could produce eye-opening results. Late fall, deep water walleyes, boy do we love it. Continue this adventure by visiting your local Mills Fleet Farm store or shop online at fleetfarm.com for all your sporting good needs and more. fleetfarm.com.